as a global community. I myself look forward to come to Bangkok.
Very good. We have
So does Julie.
Absolutely. So we have time for one final question. I'm going to take the gentleman right in the middle, gray jacket, white shirt, Yaroslav. Right up here.
Get me the luck sheet. I can't find it. The Latin America.
Thank you so much. Yaroslav Dolgopol, Ukrinform News Agency, Ukraine. So recently the IMF approved the 5th review of the EFF arrangement for Ukraine. That means consistent implementation of the benchmarks by the country, including tough reforms. At the same time, the IMF underscores, and I quote, that Ukraine needs decisive domestic revenue mobilization, unquote. What does the fund expect in this context, and does it mean new changes in the tax policy in the country in conditions of the war? Thank you.
Thank you. The Ukrainian people have shown incredible bravery, and the Ukrainian authorities have done an amazing job to steer the economy during a war very effectively. Performance of Ukraine is remarkable. We have looked into during the 5th review, all benchmarks in the program are met. Very important actions that are around strengthening governance, fight against corruption. We all know that the war is a fertile ground for corruption. Therefore, more needs to be done in that area, and Ukraine is doing it. We have completed the 5th review in exceptionally difficult circumstances. Just to remind everybody, over the last months, Russia has intensified bombing in Ukraine, undiscriminatory bombing, but there is one particular target, the electricity infrastructure. Just imagine what it means for families and businesses. They face winter, and there would be restrictions in access to electricity, to heat. And yet, the determination of the country is there. We have, the program is based on very firm ownership of Ukraine, and that goes into the direction of domestic revenue mobilization. Why is this important? Because we have a program that is strongly supported by the international community. In fact, we look at something in the order of $150 billion support over the 4 years of our program. And that the Ukrainian authorities recognize has to be matched by the will of Ukraine to raise revenues as well. And for that reason, we have been discussing the implementation of the Ukrainian strategy for domestic revenue mobilization, and that includes also looking at the way the tax system works. Taxes are collected. We are very much in favor of what Ukraine is doing, which is use technology to make taxes transparent, so you can see who is paying how much, and then you can see what the money is used for, accountability to the taxpayer. But that is the context, that needs have gone up, financial support from Ukraine's friends has gone up, and what Ukraine is doing is saying, we will do our part. We know it is now harder, we will do our part as well.
Very good. So with that, I do need to wrap up this press briefing. I thank you very much for joining us. I invite you to...
I just want to go to the question on Latin America, because I told you there are differences. You saw me flipping in my papers. I wanted to see the differences within Latin America. So you look at the Caribbean region only, and you have growth 23.7.5, 24 11.9. These are very big numbers of growth performance. Guyana there is the exceptional source, but overall they're doing very well. When you look at the Latin American and Caribbean as a whole, much lower. We have 23 2.6% growth, 24 2.6% growth. This is not enough to lift up the performance of the Latin American economies. And this is why this issue of pro-growth reforms is so important. Okay, now we are done.
And so with that, I bring it to an end. I do invite you to please join us tomorrow. We will have another press briefing with the Managing Director and our IMFC Chair, Minister Al Jadaan. Thank you very much for joining us, and we wish you all a wonderful day.